I, 26M, have been with my girlfriend, 27F, for just over 9 years. I have planned on proposing to her when I finished college, which was year. Something changed and I need some advice. I'm so anxious to make this post. It fucking hurts so much. This year has taken so much out of me, and now I am questioning my future with her? Like what the fuck 2020? This might be a large post, but I need some serious help, so I hope someone has some advice for me. Some background on our relationship: I was 17, she was 18. We met at a vocational tech school while I was finishing senior year of high school. We talked for roughly 1 month, and made our relationship official on March 5 of 2011. Truly, I felt like she was the best thing to ever happen to me. We learned about each other over the next 2 years. She never met her dad, he abandoned her mom 3 months before she was born. Never talked to him, nothing. She also had been sexually abused by her stepdad from 12 to 16 years old. These are obviously very sensitive things that add to the difficulty in typing all this out. Me, I'm from a large Italian family. I was homeschooled after 5th grade all the way to graduation. I never got out much. Always been a gamer until about 2018, when I got serious about school. Went to church every Sunday, had a few friends. Always been pretty introverted. Senior year, I got to go to vocational school for a culinary class, and that was really my first interactions with people outside of church. Fast forward 2 years to 2013, she has a bad mental breakdown. She always had emetophobia, fear of vomit and or vomiting. I got sick with norovirus, which seemingly triggered everything. She shows a side of her that I didn't expect, but I love her, so I told myself that everything was fine. We can work through this. She starts having severe panic attacks in public places. She starts taking prescription Xanax as needed, as well as Zoloft. I'm fine with all this. I said I can help her. I love her, right? I'd do anything for her. We've had our fights from 2011 to 2013. Shoot happens. Nothing we couldn't get over. Admittedly, there were points we got physical with each other and we mutually agreed to better ourselves. In this time, I lost my job as a dishwasher at a local restaurant. I hadn't picked a career for college yet. I was very confused about my future here. I refused to further our relationship until I had a concrete future. 2014 to 2015, this was an eventful time, so this is significantly shortened. Anxiety/panic reached a high point while she was at her house with her mom. It was 4 a.m., she was screaming, punching herself, threatening to slit her throat with scissors. Her sister called police. She got admitted to a mental facility and I was told that she needed to get away from her house, or else they would keep her there. So, she moves in with me. Her anxiety drops significantly for the next year. We were going to concerts, movie theaters, restaurants. During this time she had to see a gynecologist for excessive hemorrhaging, which lasted over 4 months. Her hemoglobin was dropping and she was almost so anemic she needed transfusions. This added a lot of stress. I held on because I love her. During this time, I was in and out of college, completing prerequisite classes for college. I flip-flopped careers 3 times, but with my parents' help, I stayed in college until I figured my shit out. 2015 to 2017. I'd say these were our peak years for our relationship. She was going through a lot of medical problems at this time and I was her rock. Her anxiety was tame for quite a while at this point, even with the medical problems. I feel like I should be detailed here because of everything we've went through together, so here it goes. She had to have a hysterectomy. At 25 years old in 2017. They determined she was having excessive hemorrhaging due to precancerous endometrial walls, something along those lines. She was also diagnosed with non-alcoholic fatty liver, both of us were still are overweight. 2017 was a turning point, and systemic lupus erythematosus. She started taking Plaquenil for lupus, we started a diet for weight loss, and started doing better for ourselves. I have to add, she never had a job at this point. I told her that's fine and that I'd support her. She was taking care of her grandparents, specifically her grandmother, cancer, diabetes, dementia. She does a lot for her, nearly every day. Her grandparents were giving her $160 a week at this point. So this was her job. Me, I ended up choosing a career and going to school full-time. I chose ultrasonography. This was my life for about 2 straight years. My nana passed away in 2017 as well. She was there for me. 2018, things were going great. We both lost weight, her 65 pounds, me 25 pounds. Still overweight, but I was proud of her. She plateaued after that and constantly stresses cause she can't break past it. I believe this year we had one large fight where we almost broke up, but we mended it. I was stressed out cause of school and just family problems adding up. This year, she reconnected with her mom and sister. Not 100% back in each other's life, but way better of a relationship than they had. I still recommended she stay back until we know where everyone stands. She started working front desk for a friend of her papa's who ran a roofing business. I finished my prerequisites January 2018. I got denied admission to the program I initially applied for, general sonography, and hunted for advice for a bit and ended up applying for the vascular sonography program. I got accepted, things were looking up career-wise for me. The program started September of 2018, clinical started October 2018. My stress levels were through the roof, and I really focused everything I had on my career. I had to. 2019, this is where things got pretty rough. And they haven't smoothed it out yet. Her anxiety returns with a vengeance. She basically was agoraphobic for the entirety of 2019. She was shut in the house, constantly saying she was sick, her stomach hurts, she can't leave. She couldn't ride in a car anywhere. She locked herself down and I couldn't sit back with her and help her. She would call me while I was at the hospital learning. I couldn't answer. This stressed me out so bad. I couldn't be there, and she constantly said over and over and over that she needed a man to be there for her. It made me so angry with her. This is when I first started questioning everything. People ask me all the time, when are you going to marry her? I always just said soon. It's so hard to type this. She wasn't the same. She isn't the same as when I met her. I love her, but it's hard to love her. During this time I gained weight back. I ended up more than I was prior to losing weight. August 2019, I graduate. Commencement for graduation was May 2019, she barely made it to that. She has this perk where she puffs her cheeks when she's having a panic attack. Always had it since 2013. I have found zero advice as to why it happens. So I can always tell when she is about to panic. Which is roughly 4 hours of every waking day. She takes 3 Xanax a day at least. Still barely helps her with her panic attacks. October 2019, I get hired into my clinical site as a contingent. No benefits, no guaranteed hours, but great pay though. 2019 she quits her job at the front desk because of her mental state. She can't qualify for SSI or disability, because she has not worked or attempted to work enough. 2020, her grandfather takes a turn for the worse after her grandmother's cancer flares up, and she gets hospitalized. Her grandmother returns from the hospital January 26, her grandfather goes into the hospital same day with a heart attack. To put this short, her papa was hospitalized for all of February 2020 until he sadly passed away on February 28. This killed all of us because we never saw it coming. I was a pallbearer for the funeral. Continuing through 2020, her grandma resumes chemotherapy in May. I have been involved with her grandparents since 2014. All our holidays were shared. I helped when they were hospitalized, cleaned their house, did laundry, etc. So there's a lot of attachment. 2020 has brought a lot of stress for me due to family, political climate, breaking away from the crazy right-wing shoot, constantly arguing with my parents about politics, and my girlfriend does the same. She's like me when it comes to all this. I have basically stopped using Facebook to avoid extra stress. 2019 to 2020, I've been stuck inside with her other than being at work/school. And I feel so frocking happy and relaxed being at work, even when work is stressful. I love being out. I can't wait to go to work most days. Yesterday, my co-workers and I go out on a tubing trip down a river. Chilling, drinking, all that good shoot. It was fun. I drank more than I ever have. Didn't get wasted, but I was out of it. Sitting there listening to all my co-workers' lives, talking with them, just having a great time was refreshing. I felt like a new person. I still do today. I have this numbness in my chest because I feel like my life is not what I wanted. And it frocking kills me that I've been with her for 9 years, and now I want change. I'm scared to talk to her because she's gotten violent and rageful. Last time was actually 3 weeks ago. We both had large bruises on our arms. I was grabbing her trying to stop her from hitting me. I had bruises from her hitting me and kicking me. She calls me so many names lately. She gets angry so quickly but says she loved me and apologizes. It's been happening a lot since 2019. So much of this shoot should be the final straw, but all of her stuff is moved in with me. So much of it. Our families are connected. We have been through so much. I love her. I don't know what to do. I know this is probably messy. Scattered. But I'm an emotional wreck right now. Maybe it's 'cause I drank yesterday. I don't frocking know. She can't work 'cause of her mental state, so I'm worried about finances to an extent. I'm worried about her constantly being alone since we can't have kids. I'm worried about her well-being if something does happen between us. Today I've been pretty monotonous with her. She knows something's wrong. I don't want to break her heart. This is breaking mine. But I want to be happy again. Sorry for the long post. To those who take the time to read this and give advice, I thank you so much in advance. If any more details are needed, please message me. Some stuff I can't think of right now and some I may have just left out for other reasons. Have the courage to break up with her. It will be hard. You will feel guilty. But you will have your life back. And 20 years from now you won't be looking back and wondering why you didn't have the courage to make the change you needed. Be nice to yourself. Just because you are with someone for 9 years and you've been through what sounds like literal hell, and it sounds like you may still be there, you do not have to stay with someone. It sounds like you've grown up and she's either declined or hit stasis. You can't fix her. She has to want to get better. Just as you've moved through life and improved, she has to want the same for herself. It's okay to love someone and know that you're not the right person for them to continue being with. And it's okay being selfish and moving on with your life without them. She sounds pretty miserable. She might also be wanting out but just doesn't know how to do it. And please. The abuse alone is a reason to leave. 9 hours, 9 weeks, 9 years. Nothing excuses abuse. So the majority of your 9 years together has ranged from unpleasant to miserable, sprinkled with physical and emotional abuse. The question is, do you want the rest of your life to also be that way, or be what you actually envisioned it to be? 9 years, bud. She's not going to change. Edit. There may be an attempt to guilt you into staying, be it vapid promises or threats against you or self-harm. The promises will ultimately end in deception. Report threats to whomever necessary to protect all parties involved. Dude, good advice here, but it really comes down to this simple analogy. Don't ever light yourself on fire to warm someone else up. That's it, friend, you're harming yourself, you know this, by keeping her in your life, and you do this because you are scared for what will happen to her if you don't. I'm going to be blunt, maybe her life will get worse, but it may also get better once she won't have anyone enabling her. Either way, this isn't a partnership, those are mutually beneficial. No, this is a relationship out of charity. Don't do that. I know all these "she's abusive" comments are probably making you say, yes, but she has all these issues. She can't help it. Is she abusive to anyone else? To her grandparents? To your parents? He mom and sister? Or just you? I'm guessing it's just you, maybe her mom and sister. Is she calling you names and saying nasty things if you're in public? If you're with other people? No. Because she can control it? She just isn't. Dude, she's very ill. Very. She's not ever going to be free of these serious mental health issues. She might be better than she is now, but she will always need medication and treatment. If you're not on board for that, you need to get out. If you marry her, understand that it's in sickness and in sickness, because there will be no in health. There is no cure for the kind of mental health issues you're describing. Treatment, but no cure. She doesn't have the emotional energy or the tools to be a partner to you. You're not a terrible person for wanting someone to be able to support you emotionally, contribute financially to the household, and to meet you halfway in a relationship. That's healthy, and if you want that, you can't find it in this relationship. She's physically abusive, and being away from her makes you happy. Those are the only two things that matter. If you stay, her violence will escalate until she either seriously harms you, or you accidentally harm her trying to keep her from hitting you, in which case you will be the one put in jail and have the record. You can't help her. Only she can help herself, and the only person you can help is yourself, and the only way to do that is to get away from her and stay away. Ask yourself, can I? Do I want to deal with this for the rest of my life? When was the last time you felt genuinely happy at her side? A moment you can look back and smile at? You love her, but does she loves you? Or she just depends on you? Does she make you feel loved? Truth is, you can't make anyone happy if you're not happy yourself. What she needs is professional help, and I don't want to point fingers because I've struggled with anxiety too and I know how hard it can be, but are you sure she's not using her anxiety disorder as an excuse for nearly everything? You know how good you felt on that trip with friends. In a normal, healthy relationship, you feel like that all the time. I mean, don't get me wrong, life still sucks sometimes. But most people aren't miserable at home. Most people's lives are made better by their partner. Especially at 26 years old, at 26 your relationship should be fun trips and adventures and light-hearted dates. Getting drunk together, traveling somewhere new, spending hours on the couch in comfortable silence watching Netflix. A lot of this is not your girlfriend's fault. Poor thing has been through so much, her health problems alone. But she's abusive and you're both unhappy. Sticking by a partner during a rough time is healthy and admirable. Putting up with a 9-year-long miserable relationship is not something you have to go through. Contact her support system in advance. Have somewhere else to stay if you need to. Rip off the band-aid and end it. Look, no matter what you do, you can't make her happy. And you are not responsible for her happiness. She needs a lot of help and she has to go and get it all by herself. You can't make her do it. She has spent the last 9 years manipulating and abusing you. Do you really want to spend the rest of your life with someone who makes you feel miserable? Do not propose. You need to get her out of your life before she really hurts you or destroys your life.